is for training purposes and TV news education. Some copyrighted material is used and is credited on screen. However, no more was taken than was necessary to tell the story of the event. YBA claims fair use of material.
I'm your host, Liam Miller, and one thing we have here right before we go to sports is we have a quick weather update with Anthony.
Oh.
3, 2, 1.
Thanks, Liam. Hi, I'm Anthony Muratoya with YBA Weather. Current conditions are mostly cloudy, with some sun as possible this afternoon. That will set the stage for thunderstorms through late afternoon and tonight. We have found a severe weather alert from the National Weather Service in Taunton. The service issued a flash flood watch for 2 to 4 inches of rain possible with heavy downpours, and the hazardous weather condition for the entire state of Massachusetts is also in effect. The condition states that the thunderstorms will be very strong, if not on the severe side. The potential is there for some tornadoes to form also. If you are outdoors, keep a close eye to the sky and get in a safe location. On the extended forecast, Friday is looking. The weekend also looks. The weekend also looks unsettled with a few breaks of sun possible. But that will set the stage for a few thunderstorms. And highs will remain in the upper 70s, low 80s through the rest of the week with chances of light rain showers. I'm Anthony Muratori for YBA Weather. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Anthony. Now, you guys, with the Olympics starting up real soon, there are a lot of big storylines, including the women's soccer, which George has a special update for us on.
Okay, thanks, Liam. Lots of soccer action to recap, so let's get to it. In Group E action, Brazil beat Cameroon 5-0. Also in Group E, England came out victorious over New Zealand with a final score of 1-0. In Group F, gold medalist contender Sweden cruised past South Africa in a 4-1 rout. Defending World Cup winner Japan was also in action, beating Canada 2-1. In the third and final group of the day, Group G, North Korea shut out Colombia 2-0. In one of the most anticipated matches of the day, USA came back from an early deficit and was able to beat France 4-2. With the U.S. trailing 2-0, Abby Wambach scored on a header for the U.S. in the 19th minute. Then 13 minutes later, Alex Morgan floated a ball into the goal on a breakaway. 11 minutes into the second half, Carly Lloyd struck one into goal in the 56th minute to put the U.S. up for good. Alex Morgan capped off an outstanding day by adding an insurance goal on a tapper on a cross from Megan Rapinoe. All right, that's all this soccer action from yesterday. Back to you guys in the studio.
All right, thank you, George. Now, with the Olympic opening ceremony starting off the Olympics tomorrow, we have a lot of big stories coming up, including who you think your standout athlete will be and all of the intricacies of each event. Now, we're going to send it over to the Back Talk studio here with their favorite events, their standout athletes, and maybe, if we have time, a Dream Team update. So, you guys, who's your favorite? Who do you think will be the standout athlete for this?
Hi, Alex Barth here, joined by Matt and Bradley all the way up from Florida, ready for a little Olympic discussion. So, my favorite standout athlete for the USA would be Jordan Burroughs. He is a back-to-back NCAA wrestling champion out of Nebraska. This is his first Olympic competition, and I mean, he won the NCAA in back-to-back years. I watched some of his videos. He's just outstanding, and I think he's going to be a very fun guy to watch. He it was classical style, and I'm looking forward to watching him pin some guys. How about you?
Well, I think Roger Federer.
No, for the U.S. Who's your
favorite? Oh, U.S. Oh, well, I think Ryan Lochte because, you know, he's like one of the swimmers who can actually beat Michael Phelps like he did in like the freestyle and like, yeah, well, yeah, I just think he can beat him. And
Bradley?
So.
Well, I have swimming also. I have USA Rebecca Sone. She won several world records previously, and I think she's going to be good this year.
All right, Liam?
I would personally say Misty May Trainer and Kerry Walsh. I think they're going to be a dominant duo once again in beach volleyball. Hey guys, what about international athlete? Personally, I'm going to go soccer and say Neymar, but I hope you guys have some different opinions.
Yeah, I do too. I'm going to go young guy again, just out of college, Andrew Selby. Did medal in the last Olympics. He's a very young guy, 25 years old, out of Great Britain. And, you know, he's ranked 6th boxer in the world right now for his weight class. And with that home crowd behind him, I think that can elevate him to #1 spot. I'm looking forward to see what he can do in London.
Well, I think Roger Federer, because off his win on the Wimbledon, I think that he has some momentum to come and win in the Olympics. And I just think he just is the one to beat.
I have Israeli Sergei Reichner for shooting. He was trained by the IDF, and they're legit, so gotta go with them.
That's kind of an unorthodox pick there.
Well, I know when I see them.
You know when you say it. All right, Liam.
All right, guys, moving on to your favorite event. There are quite a few in the Olympics. Mine, personally, would be handball. It's one that doesn't really get much press, but it's quite an interesting one. What about you guys?
I personally like watching the swimming. As we saw last year, that very famous race for Michael Phelps. He just got to the wall in the last second, and it can be so close, so dramatic. And even though you kind of know Michael Phelps is going to win, it's how he's going to win. He's either going to shatter world record or win it by less than half a second. And either way, it's very exciting to watch.
I like water polo because it's just an interesting sport. It's like soccer because, well, you're in the water and you just use your hands and you just have to get it into the goals, and they have a goalie in it. So, and I just really like this because there's nothing else really like it, and I think it's cool.
Bradley?
I gotta go with archery because I don't understand how you could. I know the shooting and everything, but in London it's very windy, raining. That's gonna have to change the velocity of the arrows. So that's
it's also one of
be
those like old school sports too.
Yeah,
you know,
like
they've been arching for years and years and years.
legendary.
Of course, of course.
Like Indians do it, and everyone was like, yeah.
Right, it goes back to like the 1600s. Like basketball is not that old a sport. Archery's it's like archery, wrestling, and track and field. Those are the ones that are old school. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they went go so
Not
far.
everyone could do that. So.
Right, it's also very difficult. I mean, I remember trying it at camp and just failing miserably. Okay.
All right, you guys, moving on to basketball here. There's been a huge debate around whether or not the 1992 Dream Team was better than it was better than the current 2012 and USA basketball team. What do you guys think? We had a debate earlier in the week, but we felt it was time to revisit it.
You look at the guys on the 92 team, and it's no question. I mean, you have more than one player who's arguably the greatest of all time. Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird. When Charles Barkley is an understatement on your team, when a guy like Clyde Drexler is an understatement on your team, that's the greatest team of all time. LeBron and Kobe are the only two from this current team that might have been able to fight for the 12th man spot on that Dream Team. There is no, I understand what Kobe's doing. He's a competitor. He's saying that to fire his team up. I think it's a good thing for him to say, but I just hope he understands sitting at home right now that this team could not hold a match to the Dream Team. Now, this year's team beat Argentina only by 6. I don't think that the U.S. Dream Team 92 trailed by 6 at any point in their games. They basically started up 10-0 the way they were beating teams. They were winning by 50, 60 points. I think Kobe, he has a right to say it, but he's wrong here.
I agree with you that the 92 team was much better than the current team right now. They had all the good players. Like, well, the current team now has good players. It's just like they can't match the players that they had on the 92 team. They're just too good, and they were great, and I don't think they could match what they did.
I gotta agree. You can't beat Magic. Can't beat the greatest basketball player in the history of basketball. Just can't beat it.
So you think Magic was better than Jordan?
No.
That's a whole nother discussion.
No.
They had
I was saying Michael Jordan.
Okay, because they had 3 of the greatest.
Oh yeah.
And then more than that too.
They had Dr. J, who was pretty good, I thought. Well, yeah, he was really good.
He was great. He more or less invented the dunk.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just funny to think about them going up against these foreigners who just had no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
I can't wait to watch. I mean, the team already, but it's also cool when they're close games in a way.
Yeah.
This team may be more fun to watch. With the Dream Team, you knew they were going to win. After 1 or 2 games of the antics and the hijinks looking like the Harlem Globetrotters, it gets boring. I think this year it's going to be fun because they might lose to Spain. Spain's a very good team. I think anything less than a silver medal for Spain, I would put them for silver. They have a shot at gold over the U.S., but anything less than silver is a disappointment.
Yeah, well, Argentina, I think that they could beat Spain. Spain and Argentina are gonna probably go for second place, but I don't think that they're gonna beat
Argentina. They only lost the U.S. by 6.
Yeah.
Bradley, your thoughts on that?
Spain for silver, definitely.
You think Spain for silver? Okay, Liam, what about you? Who do you think is the second best team in this tournament besides the U.S.?
I think it's unquestionably Spain, but I think that third spot is really a tight competition between Argentina and Brazil. Look at Brazil with Nene. He's just really a force underneath the net, and I think it could really become one of the more interesting storylines in the basketball portion of the event. But we're going to move on to the MLB trade deadline here. Now, earlier I asked you guys to think up a couple ideas for who would be traded. Now, what are you guys' thoughts on those? I never really got an answer.
So my thought on the trade deadline, we've seen a lot of guys move. Normally now, the 3 or 4 days before, you're not going to see a lot of trades because teams are trying to hold out to get the most they can for their players. I think the Cubs still have a couple guys to give away in guys like Ryan Dempster, Alfonso Soriano. But I think the bigger trades may be past. We've seen some big trades go down. I think the Euclid one's one of the bigger ones we're going to see. Even though that really didn't work out for the Red Sox, because one guy is still in the minor leagues, one guy they just traded away, Brent Lillibridge. But I think this is going to be kind of a quiet trade deadline year. But next year you got a lot of guys that might go.
Well, I found this trade that was Aramis Ramirez to the Yankees because A-Rod had a broken hand, or to the Indians because they don't have really a good third baseman.